Good morning, everyone. This is another podcast for the IoF COVID Task Force. We're here together with Paree. Peter is working as advisor at ZLTO, which is a farmer organization doing associative and also advisory work in the Netherlands. And Peter is quality of ecosystem chairs for the Arable sector in IoF2020. Welcome, Peter, and thank you for agreeing to have this interview.
Thank you.
If you agree, I would like to ask you a first general question. What is your experience? How has the COVID-19 and the COVID-19 measures affected the arable sector? Can you say a few words on that?
Let me start with a very positive thing that I see. We see enough food in the supermarkets, so people can still have everything they need. And that's really a big achievement. And we could only achieve that as European cooperation. Otherwise, per country, if borders would be closed, then we would have instantly a big problem. So I think one thing is very important, that we achieve such a thing, and that's really something we should remember. But we can achieve more things, and there are, of course, challenges in the short term. When I look around me, I see that the strawberry growers, they face a serious problem with labor. With the people who pick the strawberries, they have challenge to come across different countries to the Netherlands, and that's a big issue. We are joining forces to solve it, and could be still better. That's one challenge. The other challenge is market. People are getting the things in the supermarket a bit less easy, so they go to the farms for the real products that they love from their neighborhood. And there's an opportunity for the supply chain to organize itself better, and it could be better with more digital tools. So two challenges for the short term. What I also see is challenges for the long term. When the potatoes that are planted at this moment, they will be sold, let's say starting October. And at that time, the potatoes that are now in the storage and for French fries, they are not used now. So end of the summer, there will be still a lot of potatoes stored, and the new potatoes come into the market. So the market is at that moment maybe a bit overwhelmed. And that's an issue in general, that the long-term effects on the market, they are very complex to see what will happen. But we can say that the uncertainty is growing.
I see. Well, for the market of potatoes, I can take from my personal experience. Then when I go to the market, I usually see potatoes and I take a lot of them. Well, first because I like it, and secondly because I know that it is also convenient and it will last long, also in my cupboard. But I mean, myself, I can't influence the market. I assume that the biggest players on the potato market could be the retailers or the supermarkets, which are like buying tons and tons and tons of potatoes. But how does that COVID crisis affected the potato market? Do you think it is at the moment a problem because supermarkets can sell as much as they can, or does it have supply, transport issues? Do you witness things like that?
The main problem in the potato chain at this moment is French fried potatoes. They are bigger than the potatoes you buy for the use at home. They are, so you can only use them for feed for animals, or you store them. Why do we have a problem with French fries potatoes? Because most of the French fries are eaten in restaurants, and all the restaurants in Europe are closed. So there, from the start of the crisis, suddenly this was a big issue. So what will happen? More potatoes are in storage at the start of next season than normally. So who has opportunity to buy cheap potatoes and sell them, they can win a lot of money. And so opportunistic people come in. While at the same time, high quality production is available. And I think the solution for this issue is to provide maximum quality, maximum flexibility, and to prove it. So that where we worked on for many years to raise the standards and get completely reliable potato, reliable food, to keep those standards and to prove that the crops that are produced according to those standards.
Well, you touched several things there, Peter. So the French fries, I didn't think of the differentiation between these markets. It's true. But could it be that, for instance, French fries producers can also find new ways of selling with platforms and short circuits, for instance, using, a virtual market. So being inventive in the way that they find new possibilities for selling their production. At the same moment, you say a lot about good quality products. Once again, it could be a possibility for IoT technology to demonstrate their use there, because you can basically trace the potato from the production site to the retailer and then to the consumer almost.
Yes, sure. Going into the markets first, French fries is frozen. It's mondial market. It's world market. So, of course, the potato processors, they find new markets, and you should see that on a worldwide scale. It's not so easy to change their factories into other products, and it's also not so easy to put in the market all the French fries so that people cook them at home, because people just don't like the flavor of the fat that is that's used to fry the potatoes. So you cannot solve everything. The government produces some solutions so that could be some stress in the market could be taken away by using those potatoes for feed. And let's just see what we can do further. I think there are solutions for better supply chain control, more ICT into that, I think, in general, and that's good for all kind of products, certainly. If you look at the quality, that's really an issue. The quality, to produce quality is something you need years to reach. Good standard of quality for reasonable price. But to take care that you get paid for it, that's also something that you have to talk about a lot of years with retail, and so to keep good relations and to keep trust. And on the level of trustability, I think there we have some things available in the IoF project, because we can, with the sensors, with all the measurements, we can show what we did, so we can prove our trustability.
Well, that makes a very nice transition to the second part of our interview, Peter. So thanks for bringing that up. Actually, so you mentioned a few of the challenges which the arable sector is confronted to. Well, we focused on the potato world, but it's also eligible to other productions, I'm sure. So we have the transport and the supply chain. We have labor, the workforce in the field. We have the quality standard and the traceability of the products, all these challenges. So can you say a few words about all the IoF2020 use cases? How do they respond to these challenges? Do they develop solutions? Can the European agriculture benefit from these solutions? Can you say a few words on that?
Yes, we made a special effort in IoF2020 because, of course, you have this responsibility. So we took it up and we looked where we can improve things. We improved things in, as I said, in assessing, improving quality. That's really a big issue for the long term. We also combined different efforts around labor possibilities. For example, in at least 6 countries over Europe, in fact, you have exactly the same problems that Eastern European people are not coming easily to the West European harvest. So, in fact, comparable harvest initiatives are working, and in the project we connect them. About the supply chain, in fact, in IoF, the sensors and so we work more with machine producers than with the other supplies, and those machine producers, they did found and exchange solutions to solve problems on machines or to prevent problems on machines with IoT technology. And one important thing we should not forget is advisory. In a recent report of FAO of last week, they said advisory is an important solution for the COVID challenge, because the resilience and the flexibility of the sectors is affected by advisors. They can stimulate people to see their situation and to take action in time. But the advisory work itself has to change a lot. It has to become more virtual. Here in Netherlands, we see that, in fact, it was not a problem to introduce it, because the farmers already are used to WhatsApp and to all kind of tools they use in private. But as an advisor, it was a bit, you recognize farmer more when you visit him on the farm. Now this is not possible. Now we see that the farmers and the advisors find out that more advice is possible with tools that give the figures a bit more clear, and of course with the different communication methods. Well, I hope this way of communicating, which is very effective and efficient, will continue. And in IoF, we also are producing possibilities to optimize that.
Well, thanks a lot. So it's important what you just mentioned. So the new ways of working, which were developed during the COVID crisis, finally, they were proved efficient, and they might continue on the longer term in the future, although it was not foreseen at the beginning. Well, that's an interesting statement.
Certainly, they are not only efficient, I'm happy that they are super effective, because you can reach cover distance in a much easier way, and distance doesn't play a role so much no more. And that's something we should keep.
Wow. Thanks. That was an unexpected statement. Thanks a lot, Peter. We are, however, reaching the end of our interview time, so we need to quickly wrap up. I would like to ask you, would there be a highlight or a message that you would like to pass to our listeners, and maybe also more especially to policymakers?
I would say one thing is what we did good, keep doing it well. Let's keep the borders open. The other thing for food, but also for labor, open them. And the other thing is give opportunities for everyone who wants to show good quality and who wants to work on it and advise on it. Give them tools, support those tools to make it possible.
Perfect. I think that's a very nice message to pass. So I would like to thank you, Peter, for taking some of your time to inform us about what happens in the Arable sector and what are the possible solutions that IoF2020 is working on it. If you would like to know more about our current development, you are always welcome on our website, IoF2020.eu. Then you can find the variety of the solution currently being developed. And should you want to know more about it, just be in touch on social media as well. Thanks a lot to everyone. Special thanks to Peter Paree, and we'll stay tuned for more podcasts about the different European agriculture sectors. Thanks.